Hello and welcome to the January Michigan Financial Wellness Network Partner Coffee Chat. I'm Kelly Masters, your chair and founder, and it's a beautiful morning this morning. I hate to say it, I'm glad that it's finally frozen because my allergies have been going crazy with all the rain and all the warm temperatures. So I'm actually hoping we get a deep freeze here. I know that's not a popular thought, but I look out my office window and things have a pretty dusting of snow. It all looks so clean and wintry. So it's nice to be indoors with all of you. And for those on the call, if you could edit yourself to include your organization name, it just helps to know who's in the room, especially when we get to the sharing and Q&A and that sort of thing. My agenda is very short, but I have a couple of things to go through. But I will ask for a go around here in just a second. So think about if there's one thing that you want to share, and or if there is one thing that you are looking for, whether it be information or connections or resources or problem solving, we will do that here in just a moment. And I'll try and watch the, oh, great. Oh, Aldina, no worries. Good to have you this morning, even though you're here by phone. That's fine. Welcome. Always good to have you, no matter how you can join. So, okay, so let's get started. This will cooperate. So happy New Year. I can't believe it's 2024, already the 10th of the month. It's already flying by. I don't know about you all, but it came back kind of fast and furious, it seems, that the end of the year, things kind of slowed down. But boy, I have been really busy this week, partially playing catch up, but also trying to get initiatives back, back on track. So we are still seeking sponsors to support this year-round work that we do. So if your organization or organizations that you're familiar with might like to support the Michigan Financial Wellness Network, I'd love an introduction. That's all that is really needed. I'm happy to take the conversation from there. So always want to mention sponsorship opportunities, and we're going to do a quick partner go around. So be thinking about your offer and your ask. If you have one or both of those. And then I do have some important updates for our flagship initiatives, the ones that are kind of managed by me and have a large footprint. And then future topics for Zooms. I have something to share about our February meeting. We are going to have a guest speaker to come in and talk with us about AI as it relates to financial literacy. And, I know that AI is, can be controversial, it's good, it's not good, it helps with efficiency, it's, problematic, all of that. It is here. And so I'm trying very, my best to become, informed and to better understand its positive possibilities as well as the potential negative ramifications of the use of AI. So next month on February 7th, we are going to have a guest speaker who is going to talk with us about AI in Finlit. So be sure to come and tell anybody that you think would want to hear about that topic. Feel free to invite them as your guest as well. All right, so let's start with a go around. I think I saw Lisa. Do you want to start us off?
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm from Marshall Credit Union, and I don't have much. I think last time I told you about our program we rolled out on November 1st. So we're just plugging away at that and trying to get, this year we're looking to do more community involvement, presentations type things. So I'm just looking for that kind of information and help to get that started.
Yeah, and I presume you already have a relationship with your libraries, right? Your local library.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always a good place. And with MSU Extension?
I follow them, so I see some of the stuff they post. Yep.
Because they're also a good collaborative partner. You might want to reach out and just have an exploratory conversation with them because they're, very well organized and staffed and professional. It might be worth a conversation.
Okay, perfect.
And they have someone who's assigned to all 83 counties. So
Okay.
it's not 83 people, but their staff, you might have one person who's responsible for 5 counties, for example.
Okay.
Jill, why don't we move to you? Because there I see you just
Mhm.
popped on video for me and you're one of our extension representatives. So
Yeah, hi, I'm Jill Conan, and I have a split role in extension that is unique only to my position where I run the county 4-H programs, but half of my position is funded by Limestone Federal Credit Union here in Manistee in the UP. So with that funding, I do their community education pieces. So Lisa, as you were talking, I was thinking, yeah, connect with, either you can reach out to me by email and I can get you who's closest to you, because I am not close to you. But there's obviously a ton of information out there that you could use, but we have what's called the Money Carnival, and it's definitely like a booth setup type thing that would work for school presentations, or if your school's having like a STEM night or a family night where the credit union could partner with the local extension staff to set this up. And it has things like writing checks and financial terms, a simple budget activity with dice and stuff like that. As I'm delivering it, I'm like, oh my gosh, really? But kids love it, and keep coming back to practice writing more checks. So, so that one is geared more towards like 6th grade and up, and we are meeting this week or next week to start working on things for some younger students in that same idea. But we do have that available. As far as programming type things, now that we're back from winter break, all of the teachers who said talk to me after the winter break are getting emails from me asking when to do programming. So we're hoping to get the in-classroom opportunities lined up better now that we've gotten past that initial big hump of the school year.
yeah. All right, so Jill, do you want to maybe put your email in the chat so Lisa can have it readily available and you guys can connect off outside of this meeting? All right, I see Sarah, do you want to go next?
Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm Sarah from Case Credit Union. And something that I've been thinking about doing, and I want to see if anyone else is doing it, because due to staffing, I have an education team that like goes out with me. Like I'm the only one that does this position at Case, the financial education. And then all the staff can sign up to go out with me and help me out teaching. But that has really slowed down and now it's kind of just me. So I was thinking about doing like packaging up lessons like Fun Friday lessons or something that I could give to teachers and to schools without having to be there. Just kind of putting together the actual lesson piece of it. So I wanted to see if anyone else has done that and the success of that, or if it's not worth my time.
Anyone have experience with doing that kind of thing, packaging up a lesson or a variety of lessons and giving them to educators that can do them without you present?
I haven't done that, but I think the Smart Path curriculum would lend itself to be something teachers could do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you went in and did like the first lesson, and obviously you have, I'm sure, way more schools and classrooms than I need to work with, but because that one is really directed by the content of the web platform. And even if you just provided like, here's the photocopies of the worksheets the kids need, so it really is like a grab and go thing.
Yeah.
I think that would work. Plus it's 3, I think each one is 3 lessons, but they kind of all have to go together. Like it's you do 3 or you don't use them because it's a story.
Yeah.
And they leave you with cliffhangers. So you don't want to not finish it, but.
So I don't have experience with doing what you're suggesting, Sarah, but having worked at least at the elementary level, I worked in the schools for 7 years. If you choose to do that and provide these like, little self-contained packets, I would also, just in my communication, I might say, this is also, could be a fun Friday, but it's also a good, like, in your back pocket, if you're like substitute teacher, right? They all have to have lesson plans ready to go just in case they're sick or their kid is sick or whatever, they're not at work.
Yeah.
A sub has to be able to walk right in and just do. And so having some of those like in their back pocket, you might want to include that as like just an idea starter. Like not only
Yeah.
could these be like a marvelous Monday kickoff or a fabulous Friday fun thing, this could also be like in your hip pocket for, substitute lesson
sub.
plans.
Yeah, I taught middle school science for a while, and we had like an advisory period. So I've also thought about like marketing them towards that. Like, hey, you have
Yeah.
your homeroom or advisory class. And then an offer I wanted to give to those looking to build their community partners. One of our really strong partnerships is with Mid-Michigan Recovery Services. So if you haven't looked into partnering with your local rehab facility, for our class, they partner with the probation officers, and the probation officers, some mandate, some don't, but highly encourage them to take our 4-week course with us. And it's once a week. But if you're looking for more adult opportunities, looking into local rehab facilities or with probation officers would be a great start.
Mm-hmm. I recently had some experience with something similar to that, and I agree with you 100%. So I know, Derek, I know you're on your phone and I know that you're going to be in and out. So we're just doing our partner go around. Do you want to take this opportunity? Is this a good time for you to introduce yourself and if you have an ask or an offer? Are you able to talk now?
Yeah, I can talk for a second. I'm just heading into PSA and flying to Atlanta for some work stuff. So I'm Derek Danville, program with the Michigan Council on Education, and really one of the things that we can always help you is connect with teachers. We focus a lot on professional development for teachers and student activities. We have a personal finance challenge for high school students and economics challenge for high school students that we do in April. Our registration information for those events just got launched on our website, which is michiganecon.org. We are currently talking to people at Junior Achievement about possibly helping them run a pilot of their materials for high school graduation requirement as far as helping meet those graduation requirements of teaching our state standards. So that's something that teachers that are interested in piloting Junior Achievement materials, which is if you're not aware, the state of Michigan gave Junior Achievement $5 million to develop materials and have them available for teachers for meeting that new graduation requirements. So we're just kind of talking about some of those things that they're doing. So that's, I think, about all the time I'm going to have before I've got to head into the airport here.
All right. Well, thanks for popping in. And I was having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. So I don't know if it's my computer or if it's the phone or the airport or whatever, but I don't know if other people have questions for you. I'm just trying to make out all that you were saying. I heard you say something about a partner, looking into something with Junior Achievement, which I'm fascinated by. I'd love to know more about that. Does anybody have questions for Derek before? I did put your website URL in the chat, Derek, just so if people wanted to go over and peruse. Okay, then we'll move over. I know Colleen, you've been on the call for a little while. Good to see you. Good to see your name here in the mix. Do you want to unmute and share an offer or an ask that you may have for the greater good?
Good
Godfrey,
morning.
Colleen.
Uh,
Yeah,
You can hear me, right?
hear you.
Can you? Hello?
I can hear you.
Kelly?
I can hear you.
Okay, all right, just checking, because I'm on the phone. I'm the consumer education specialist at Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union. So we, like ACE and Marshall and MSU, we provide financial education all year long. So we try to just ramp it up around this time. We have one scheduled with Troy Library so far. We have some adult library workshops scheduled. So we're here, like the others, to provide content in any situation, to try to kind of partner with someone else to provide a bigger event. I like the idea of that carnival. We know things like that. We have these great ideas and they don't always play out the way we hope. So if we can maybe combine forces for certain things, hopefully we can get a better result. Yeah, we have locations, we have content, so we're kind of a one-stop shopping for just ask and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, and hopefully, can you stay on the call this morning, Colleen? Because once we talk about the Smart Money Michigan Kids Read, I have an update on that. I'm hoping to have you take information back to your people.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Let's see. There are a couple people, maybe if you're on a computer, can you rename yourself? I see a couple people who haven't added their organization name. So if you go to the participants option and you'll hover over your name and see the three little dots, it will give you the option of rename. And if you could just add your organization name to your personal name, that would be super helpful. Let's see. Let's hear from Maria. Maria, can you hear me? Can you, there you
Yes,
are.
I can. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I'm Maria Johnson. I'm the financial coach for the LISC Financial Opportunity Center at Mott Community College, Workforce and Economic Development. We are a free service to the community. We offer financial literacy, as well as employment coaching to anyone within the community. So I don't have a need. My only ask is that to help spread the word that we exist in your dealings with your clients, people that come into the credit union, anyone you're working with. If they want and need one-on-one coaching, which is what we do. We do workshops as well. I do workshops a lot of times for companies, for their employees in financial literacy. We don't do a whole lot in the area of schools, which I know is a lot of people on this group do a lot with schools. We delved into it a little bit last year, but it's not our strong suit. It is something we're looking to pursue. We just don't have a big footstep in that area yet. So if you do for schools, for youth, we do have programs. We just aren't out there very much. So I guess that's my only spiel. Just getting the word out.
All right, sounds good. Let's see. So Maria, can you answer? Let's see, Sarah's asking you, where in the state are you located?
My community college is located in Flint, Michigan. So we always talk, so if we cover anyone within Genesee County. Is pretty much our outreach.
Cool. All right, how about if we go to Christy, you're holding down the fort for the library world. Can you unmute and oh, okay, you're here for an update on financial. Okay, so on the Smart Money Michigan Kids Read. That's what Christy is here for. Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself and tell us like what your role is within your library? Oh, you don't have a microphone. Okay, no worries, no worries. I won't put you on the spot anymore. I'm glad you're here. And I'm going to give an update here in just a minute. Aldina, are you able to unmute?
Yes, I can. Good morning, everyone. Lots going on at Lake Michigan Credit Union. So this is Aldina, Community Relations Manager at Lake Michigan Credit Union. We are located in Grand Rapids, but we do have locations in Florida as well. And I apologize, I'm working from home today and running after a 18-month-old baby who's currently destroying the house right now. So, but I just wanted to share quick updates in regards to our current scholarship that we just finished the essays. They just wrapped up. Last Friday, we had lower submissions than usual, and I guess there is quite a trend currently going on with high school students who are not as interested anymore to apply for scholarships, and we weren't really aware of that. So I'm curious to know, any of you who are offering scholarships, if that's something that you have also noticed trends, that your numbers have gone down a lot. But besides that, we just relating to the speaker from earlier too, and I apologize, I missed your name, who was saying that there's a lot more demand coming in and you're just kind of one person trying to handle it all. We are definitely noticing that as well. I am that one person, and kind of creating those presentations for our branch managers, and then having them go out to present, making sure that they have that in their capability to, with staffing being low as well, has been a true challenge. Like, they want to go out and be part of the schools, but it makes it very challenging when staffing is not there and when I can't, provide that support to them equally as well. So trying to work out a best way on, kind of creating that library, and then hopefully just working off of that as we get these requests in from, schools, from nonprofits. Still getting there. It's a work in progress for our financial wellness initiative. Other than that, we have Financial Literacy Month coming up, and we do have a good incentive. We work through Everfi on some of our content, and we have our annual incentive that we would like to use. If any of you have ever done an incentivized program, and would you mind sharing some ideas as to what you did? So last year we did, it was like a $500 giveaway. The students went through Everfi, answered some questions, and I had all these high hopes because it was a program that they do. It's an incentive that they offer, and we went through them, and we got like 1-sentence answers, and a student won $500 for literally 3 sentences that they answered. And that is not what we're trying to get out of this program. So we're trying to revamp it all together and make it ours, but I wanted to be creative. So if any of you would like to share something that you've used in the past, I would love to hear from you.
So Aldina, I heard a couple of things in your remarks. One is this idea that students are not applying for scholarships to the level that they had historically, which blows me away. As the mom of a freshman in high school, I'm already looking ahead at like, okay, where are their, college financing options?
Yep,
So-
exactly our word. Like, I mean, just to give you kind of an idea, we generally would get between 1,500 to 1,800 submissions that were like solid entries that we received. This year, we barely got 902. I mean, like, barely got that, which that is like a huge decrease. And we've been doing this program for, I've been with the organization for 18 years, for sure, like 22 years, I think we've been doing it. So
yeah, so I don't know the answer to that, but that is seems strange to me.
yeah, we've had a few of our staff actually who have significant others who are high school educators, and they have shared several things that they are noticing trends within classrooms of specifically high school students. The interest is no longer there to like run after those scholarship opportunities.
That's interesting. Does anyone have experience with that or thoughts or advice to share?
We tend to have lower submissions as well. I just put that in the chat. But we haven't opened ours yet. We are in the next week. But I've already had 2 parents reach out asking when they're going to be open, like members that know that we offer them. One thing I do is I email all the principals and assistant principals, and if I can find like their economics teacher or some sort of teacher with financial literacy, I email it to them as well. Like, hey, check out our website. We have $1,000 scholarships for seniors, and so definitely, like I email them over and over, like over every couple weeks. I just send that out if I see I haven't gotten any from that school.
Yeah,
That's-
that's great advice. As far as like the other contacts that you mentioned too, we definitely have we have the teacher list from other engagements that we have with them, also the principals, assistant principals. One thing that has been working really well for us too is some of our direct teacher contacts, they actually assign it as an essay in their classroom. So that right there usually gives like a ton of submissions, but it's just this year has not been super successful.
Well, and this was a curiosity of mine, and Derek just posted in the chat kind of confirming what I was suspecting, and he says that the students think the government is going to forgive their debt, so they aren't worried about it as much, right, as maybe 5-10 years ago. And then Jill just says, across our district's community-based scholarships, applications have dipped to a really low level, so those who apply receive several. And then another comment, be sure your essays are chat GPT proof. Here we go, the AI stuff. Derek, I told him we're going to do a little session on AI and FinLit next month. So everybody come February 7th. Okay, well, we can come back to this. It's 9 o'clock, so I want to go through just some updates, because I know some folks are here for specific updates from me. And so I want to go through those, and then we can come back to this robust conversation again, if that's okay. Did I get to everybody who wants to share, introduce yourself? I think I did. If I didn't, just unmute and interrupt me. Okay, so a few updates from me. Obviously Smart Money Michigan Kids Read, I have information about that. Our Funding the Future Spring Tour, I have updates for that. The Fempreneur Summit, and then our Smart Money Magic Show, I don't have any updates yet because of the cycle with Ally Financial doesn't open until after the first of the year. So I don't know if we're going to be able to do those again. So, but as far as our Smart Money Michigan Kids Read, we are at the 12th hour, I guess 12th hour and 59th minute of being ready to press send and print on our new book for the this April. So our Owl and Otter and the Big Talent Show, the same 6 main characters as we had in last year's book, which was Owl and Otter and the Big Yard Sale. So the review task force has given many iterations, feedback of the story, of the illustrations, and we're really excited with where the book is. I did a deep dive Zoom meeting yesterday with participating libraries, and so I will send information as a follow-up to that as soon as I have time to go through and edit everything. But and then I'm also doing a deep dive for the credit unions on our call today, or those who are listening to this on demand. February 14th, I will be giving a brief update at your financial educators meeting. But then I'm also going to be doing a deep dive into the storybook on February 15th. So if you didn't register for that, I would suggest you do. It'll take us about 40 minutes to actually read through the book. You'll see what the teaching, learning points are. It'll help you in your conversations with your library partners to know like what things you might be able to offer in terms of support and resources. And it's a fun little story with lots of options for getting kids engaged. So we have 140 requests received, but I still have about 1,000 copies of this book available. And so one of the things I was going to mention to anyone listening is that if you're a library who has already made your book request, if you place that request already, you are good to go. You are going to get the number of books that you needed so that every family attending your events in April, your story, money themed story times, will get a copy of the book to take home and keep. If you are a credit union who partners with libraries or wants to partner with libraries, we still have copies available. So please use this as an opportunity to reach out to them to make sure that they have requested their books and to offer your support. Now, if you would like to know if particular libraries have already made their book request, please send me an email and I can check that list of 140 requests and I can tell you whether or not your particular library has already submitted their book request, okay? So that's kind of the two-part offer and ask around this initiative is that requests that have been made will be fulfilled when we receive the books on the 1st of March. And those should be shipped out on the interlibrary loan trucks on Monday, March 4th. Again, fingers crossed that all goes according to our master plan and that we don't have, some crazy storm that shuts down the railways or, whatever. But that is our schedule. Books are being produced. We'll receive them in Novi. Thank God for Julie Farkas and Novi Library. She receives our master shipment. And then our team of Community Financial Credit Union volunteers, we come in and we sort and pack the 9,000 books into the individual requests to libraries. And that will happen on March 1st. We'll get those cases out on trucks, hopefully Monday, March 4th. So, so Aldina, you need to send me which libraries you would like to know if they're participating. I am not distributing a list to anyone. But if you have libraries that you partner with or would like to partner with that are in your footprint, you can send me which libraries you'd like me to check on for you. And I will gladly let you know if they are already participating. And if they're not, if they are, then you can reach out to them and say, hey, I'm excited. You guys are, doing this program and how can we support you? But if they're not on that list, it's a great opportunity for you to reach out to those libraries and make them aware of this resources and free books for kids. Who doesn't want to give free books to kids? So, but I need you to send me which libraries you would like to have me check on for you. So, and then libraries that are receiving the books, the only thing that we ask of you is that you utilize these books in money-themed programming during Financial Literacy Month, which of course is April of 2024. We don't prescribe how libraries implement the use of the book. We just ask that they are used during the month of April. We don't want them in a closet somewhere or on a shelf somewhere, not in the hands of kids. So we want them utilized in the month of April. And it can be as simple as, let's say a library has a standing story time at 10:30 on Tuesdays. During the month of April, you can simply convert a story time to a money theme, utilize our book, and some activities, some coloring sheets, we're actually generating a supplement. Sarah, yes. So we have started identifying supplemental activity ideas like we did last year. And there will be a supplement that will be emailable out to participating libraries that we can also share with our credit union partners. And we've begun that process, getting input from librarians as to the kinds of things that they would be interested in. So printables, coloring sheets, things that can be cut out. The money sheet will be included again with the coins and the dollars that can be either colored and or cut out and used for things. So yes, we are in the process now. Once we press print on the book today, our attention will shift to fleshing out the supplement packet of optional activities and printables and things that our youth librarians, as well as our early educators. Some credit unions in particular will partner with their elementary schools and bring the book into the schools as a way of doing, read alouds and things like that. So I know that there is an additional supply of books that we are ordering that credit unions can request directly from the Credit Union Foundation for other programming, like with schools or community centers. They're not necessarily part of a library program. So if you're not plugged into that, then you would reach out to Andrea at the Credit Union Foundation and get from her, the book request form or however she does that, so that you can request copies of the book. Let's see. So Christy is saying craft idea with characters, for example, would be wonderful. Coloring sheets are not taken, so we have stayed away from them. What do you mean coloring sheets are not taken? Can you help me? I don't know what that means. Coloring sheets are not taken. I know some libraries will have kids actually color in the activity hour. So the printables can be cut out and used either as like puppets after they're colored. So I'm not sure what coloring sheets are not taken. I'm not sure. Can you tell me what that means? Oh, when we offer them, parents don't take them with them. Oh, I see. So the printables could be used, coloring could happen in the hour. If or used as like cutouts, and you could have popsicle sticks and make puppets and have them like recreate a scene in the story or something. That was just some of the librarians were telling us that they would like the cutouts of characters. So anyway, so there's the two tracks, the one that I manage, which is partnering with libraries and encouraging them to work with a credit union partner. It's not required. So a library can do Smart Money Michigan Kids Read. Most libraries love working with a credit union partner because you all bring additional volunteers and maybe refreshments and resources to their events. But then there's also the track of credit unions can request quantities of books directly from the foundation, from that additional pool of books that we order, for use in things like your community agencies and your elementary schools. In this book, it's interesting. We have the concept of wants and needs that are covered in the book, counting, addition, and we also touch on subtraction. So like someone pays with a $5 bill for a $2 ticket, and then there's $3 given back. So those are at the core, counting, addition, a little bit of subtraction, or kind of making change without calling it making change, are in this book, along with encouragement and teamwork and support. So the soft skill stuff that early childhood educators also have kind of on their metric of things that need to be taught, if you will, in the classroom. So for credit unions who are participating and want the full deep dive into the book, be sure that you attend the February 15th Zoom. And I provided that link to Andrea, and I think that was already shared out once, but I think she's gonna probably share that out a second time as well. Does anybody have questions about Smart Money Michigan Kids Read, about the timeline, about the process? Okay, great. If you do, just feel free to email me or unmute, ask your question, or throw it into the chat. I can always come back at the end. Okay, so funding the future, very exciting spring tour. The schedule is getting very, very full, which is fantastic. So you can see here, we have shows already booked. The tour is April 22nd through May 3rd. We have shows booked already in Clinton, Flint, Detroit, Farmington, Commerce Township, Howell, Schoolcraft, Yale. And you'll see that there are shows booked on all of those dates, April 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 29th, 30th, May 1st and 2nd. Depending on location of another school, if it's in proximity, it's possible to do 2 shows in one day, knowing that it requires, 2 hours of setup, the program is at least an hour, and then tear down and transport. So it's possible sometimes to do a second show on a particular date. So you see like April 23rd, for example, the show is at 8:35. So it's conceivable there could be an afternoon show if it were in proximity to the school in Flint. And then the only date right now that doesn't already have a performance scheduled is May 3rd. So if you work with schools, high schools or middle schools in Southeast Michigan, we looked at possibly doing a show in the UP, and it just wasn't going to work for the spring tour given all of the other commitments. Not in person anyway, an in-person show. But if you work with high schools or middle schools in Southeast Michigan, you can see everywhere from, downriver to Flint, basically. Feel free to reach out to me and I can put you in contact with the scheduler and get you information that we can share with decision makers in those middle and high schools. 75-minute program that includes a live rock and roll concert, followed by the band leader sharing, Finlit information that's age appropriate for teenagers and done through kind of his own personal journey, his own personal story. So it's a fantastic program. If anyone has possible hosting school, the underwriting for those shows of $3,500 are covered because of the generosity of sponsors who underwrite this opportunity for young people. Okay, let's see. Oh, the Fempreneur Summit. Wow, this is rocking. We are so excited this year, adding all kinds of new elements to the Fempreneur Summit. It is Wednesday, March 6th. Lake Trust Credit Union is our elite sponsor, so I'm not able to have any other bank or credit union as a sponsor. However, you are still welcome and encouraged to attend. We have capacity for 150 attendees this year, and a marketplace, a resource marketplace of 30 exhibitors. So we've taken over more space so that we can have more exhibitors. Last year it was sold out and a little crowded. So this year we have more space and can accommodate more exhibitors and more attendees. It is a powerful day for women at all levels of entrepreneurship, whether it's a side hustle that they're doing and they still have a day job, or they have this, dream on a cocktail napkin and haven't made the leap, or women, we have women who have been, running their business for 20 years. So it's across the spectrum. And we have a financial wellness component, obviously, but also focus on physical wellness this year. We have a nutritionist coming in. We're doing some things with an awesome nonprofit. So there's going to be an art component. So for our creative juices, thank you, Derek, for that update. So looking at the whole woman, not just her as a business person, but as the whole person. So from emotional wellness, physical wellness, spiritual wellness, connecting with other women, building a community of women that supports each other. So we're very excited. We just received notice that Mercer Advisors has come aboard as a sponsor of the marketplace. So the category of financial advisors, that is no longer available. But we have a lot of other sponsorship. We're even going to do a segment on self-defense. So a 15-minute segment on, here are the 3 things that, we're going to actually teach women and practice on site. So very exciting. Registration for individuals to participate is open. And registration for exhibitors is also open. So if you know of any organization that would like to spend the day with 150 amazing women here in the location is in Northville, easily accessible off of 96 and 275 and M14. Please let me know, and I can send you the link for participant registration as well as exhibitor registration. We have 15 of the exhibit spaces already spoken for. So, but it can be a lifestyle product or service as well as a B2B product or service. We're looking for a very diverse marketplace. So there's my update on the Fempreneur Summit. So topic suggestions, I already told you that next month, Derek is going to talk with us about kind of the status of AI in FinLit. Some other suggestions for topics that have been thrown out there are to discuss student-run credit unions specifically and the different models and the benefits and challenges of each, possibly a personal finance session for our own members. I'm not sure what the topic would be. That was something that was suggested last month. Personal finance legislation, how it's being implemented in districts across Michigan. You know, Derek, maybe you and I can talk about that offline and see if that isn't something we can bring into maybe our March meeting. A Smart Path refresher, I personally would like to do that because of my work with social service agencies and, you know, maybe inviting them to a meeting where we give a Smart Path tutorial, if you will. It would be a refresher for some, but it would be brand new information for others. So especially for those who are non-school or non-teachers, right? Not classroom teachers, but other people who work with youth. And then MSU 4-H, someone suggested that perhaps we revisit the offerings of MSU Extension. So that's all I had. If anyone wants to unmute or put in the chat other topic suggestions that you have, and even if people can't come to these meetings, I am recording them so we can build up our own library of, you know, these educational topics that people can learn about on their own time as well. February 7th is our next meeting. I felt that February 1st was too soon. So February 7th is going to be our next meeting. And then the 13th of March, because the March 6th, the date will be at the FemSum, and then April 3rd and May 8th, which will be after Financial Literacy Month. So with that, those were all of the updates that I have. And so I invite anyone who has questions of me or looking for additional suggestions or problem solving from the brain trust that's on the call, please go ahead and unmute. I feel like there was one other topic that Aldina had suggested in her intro that we didn't really get to, but I can't remember what it was now.
Kelly, I have a question.
Sure.
It doesn't sound like it, but I was wondering if there are any changes or anything that we've lost, any way that we're affected by the fact that the official Federal Reserve Money Smart Week is completely retiring.
Yeah, you know, last month we touched on that a little bit. So for those who are unaware, you know, the predecessor to the Michigan Financial Wellness Network for, you know, 15 years was an initiative of the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. And that was their Money Smart Week, which was an 8-day period in April. And kind of one of the outcomes of the pandemic was they took away local control over their Money Smart Week initiative. And so here in Michigan, we decided that we didn't want to stop doing what we were doing. We didn't want central control from Chicago. And so we basically at that time just, you know, suspended our relationship with the Federal Reserve Bank. And they continued for the last couple of years just offering a handful of webinars with speakers that they chose on topics that they determined. And so we formed the Michigan Financial Wellness Network. It's been 4 years now. I don't know, 4 years maybe. Amazing. And so almost with foresight, it was very a happy accident, I guess, that the Fed forced us a cease and desist use of their Money Smart Week brand. And we completely broke off to independence and formed the Michigan Financial Wellness Network with the MCEE as our fiscal agent. And we have been plowing along, doing what we do and supporting one another and continuing this work. And so when the Fed announced that they were, quote, officially retiring the Money Smart Week initiative, it really hasn't affected us at all because we were already completely independent. So if anyone had questions about that, thanks for raising that up, Colleen, because it hasn't even, it's less than a blip. It's been a non anything here in Michigan because we've been independent and doing what we're doing for the past several years without any oversight or regulation or anything from the Federal Reserve Bank. Thanks, Aldina, for joining us today. So Christy, there's a question in here. Can I verify the concert with the financial literacy education piece? It is a free program supported by a grant. Well, close. The program is free to the schools that host it because of sponsorships that we secure through donations and or sponsorships from, generally it would be a Raymond James office that we've had very, very generous sponsorships from Raymond James offices, as well as other financial institutions like credit unions who have underwritten that $3,500 cost to bring the program into high school or middle school. So it is free to the hosting institution because of the generous sponsors. And yes, so to Derek's point, Funding the Future, which is the nonprofit that that these programs, the Gooding program and Carter Halsey, they're always looking for sponsors to underwrite the programs. So, but to answer Christie's question, the school is not charged because of the generous underwriting that we receive from sponsors. Thank you. Okay, good. I hope that clarifies. Any other questions about Owl and Otter? Any other questions about Fempreneur Summit? Any other questions about future topics that you guys would like to have guest speakers for? Because we have 5 minutes left. So I'm going to pause the recording now, and then I can still stick around for a couple of minutes if anyone wants to chat offline. But I want to thank you all for being here and participating in the meetings. And for those who are watching on demand, I'm so glad that we're able to offer that as an option. Thank you for coming, Christy. It's always good to have our libraries represented. And hopefully we'll see everybody on February 2nd when we will take a look into AI in FinLit and kind of what's happening in that space. So with that, I will pause our recording and see everyone in a month.